Good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Top stories in the news tonight. The church regrets taking a partisan stance prior to the 2021 general election. It is too soon to forget the PF atrocities, charges Dr. Nevis MUMBA. An identified male of KANYAMA compound killed in mob justice. In international news, Senegal ruling coalition suffers setbacks in key cities. And in sports news, government commences the rehabilitation of football facilities in Eastern Province.
From 31st January to 6 February 2022, Zambia's spiritual atmosphere will take a paradigm shift. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord."
Zambia, a nation under God conference
will be starting at 20:45 hours
to 22:30 hours.
Live on Camnet TV channel 274 on DSTV, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Speakers will be
Bishop Stanley Simnyola, Grace Ministries;
Dr. Nevis MUMBA, Victory Ministries;
Apostle Michael Mutemwa from South Africa;
Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, New Life Christian Center;
Apostle Rick Kamwanga, Risen Life Church International;
Bishop Joy Makando, Bread of Life;
Bishop Alex Mwami of Holy Ghost Firehouse from South Africa; and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua.
Camnet Television,
not just another channel.
Hello once again, the news in detail. An unidentified man of Lusaka's KANYAMA compound has died after the residents effected mob justice on him. The deceased was in the company of 4 others who attempted to steal a flat-screen television in the area. Information obtained by Camnet TV News indicates that this incident happened on the 25th of January between 02 and 05 hours. The residents tell Camnet News that thieving activities have become rampant in the area, resulting in residents living in fear. They have since called on the police to conduct frequent foot and motorized patrols to safeguard people's lives and property. More in the following report.
KANYAMA constituency is one of the suburbs in Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. All the negative attributes can be witnessed in this area, from poor infrastructure and sanitation to lack of employment and high crime levels. Talking about crime, it remains a greater concern. An identified man of Lusaka's KANYAMA compound has been beaten to death in a mob justice. This is the crime scene. Information obtained by Camnet TV News from community members indicate that the incident happened in the early hours of Tuesday, 25 February 2022. Zambia police spokesperson Ray Amonga gave an account of the incident and advised the people against taking the law into their own hands.
We picked a board of an identified male person, aged between 25 and 30 years, in KANYAMA area, near Mtandabantu Market along Basera Road. We have so far not received any allegation of him having been involved in a theft, but however, we want just to appeal to members of the public that please do not resort to mob justice, as mob justice is not a good thing in that it can be used against any innocent person as long as the person conducting or promoting mob justice has a grudge against such a person.
We visited one of the houses where they allegedly stole household TV sets.
Never met a fundumuka ifi. Tipeza ma TV kulibe. Yabili ma plasma Samsung na SS 32 inch na 42 inch. Ndiye batenga umu.
The residents who spoke to Camnet TV News say incidents of housebreaking have become rampant in the area in the wake of high youth unemployment in the area, as most people resort to illicit activities and they are commonly known as junkies.
Vutika isi sigona bakawala bachilamo so tipempa bakapokola prizi bagwire nchito osacheni bakazitiro kelela ise bantu batibera vintu mu nyumba sitigona prizi tapapata
batikire kona ni polling station kuno.
Polisi?
Tufuna polisi kuno. Majangi anayamba nakaba tukulipia majangi but majangi aliko kuno. Sibange. Bali okwira muntu alipe mulandu but makadazi baba zabwanji baba siya. Batiza tukakamata bati ati you captured kumaseo. Please
They have since called on the police to be conducting foot and motorized patrols to safeguard the people's lives and property.
Kuna problem eti na maiwa na shanti mwene ilili. So mwene ilili shanti malodzi mulibe mwambili. And it's very difficult for police kupanga mapatrols. Bantu wa matawa kaba zatawa so zabisa masimu za mkonka miopa. Maona. So mwamine mwaonera so mwene kulili. So maroads are changed. Tungono tu maroads hota. Tumamoto ka police sanga pite kupanga mapatrols maninga. Maona. So matama kali mutali muno. So tufuna change development hota at least basakire kuma area MPs na councillors. Bapange ko maroads ya at least police kasenza musho konka bakawala.
Patrols should be intensified without vehicles. Not only vehicles. If policemen are supposed to be patrolling, that is their job, not only vehicles. If they are employing police officers every time, our people here are not working. No wonder they are attending themselves to be doing such kind of things. No employment is that is causing this. They are always talking about politics, talking about we have employed so many nurses, so many teachers, so many what, but these youths are not employed. No wonder they are turning into doing this.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The Lusaka Ministers' Fellowship regrets the stance taken by the church in the build-up to the 2021 general election. Speaking at the first meeting of the Fellowship in 2022, Fellowship Chairperson Bishop Christopher Kabonda notes that the situation is regrettable coming from the body of Christ that needs to unify the nation by being non-partisan. Bishop Kabonda has, to this effect, called on the clergy to ensure that they bridge the gap on any differences in a bid to unify the nation. Meanwhile, Pastor Stephen Mdoma says the church cannot allow alcohol and substance abuse to continue under its watch. He says the church will continue to play its watchful eye on its people. More in this report.
In a Christian nation like Zambia, the church is expected to unify the nation by not siding with any ethnic group or political party. This was not the case under the watchful eye of the Patriotic Front administration, especially with the introduction of a dedicated ministry of religious affairs, which some faith-based organizations say was dividing the nation. 2016 saw the birth of Christians for Lungu, and 2021 in the build-up to the general election, where the church rose against each other by taking sides with either the opposition or the ruling party, then the Patriotic Front. Many clergy claimed the Spirit of God had spoken to them. The PF was a chosen party for the nation, ignoring the fact that each congregation has people of different beliefs and political choices.
Gotten information from the general populace. I think the President, Edgar Lungu, stands a chance of going through. And we want to tell the nation that, be confident that in the next 5 years, where development has never come, the President is ready to come and bring development, because we've seen developments in other areas.
Tuesday, the Lusaka Ministers' Fellowship met for a meeting where they have expressed regret for the step taken to take political sides. Fellowship Chairman Bishop Christopher Kabonda says from now on the church should instead offer direction and not take a partisan stance.
For August 12th general elections, we will not make that mistake again. As you may be aware, in my intro, I want to mention that Lusaka Ministers' Fellowship is non-partisan. Amen. Amen. When I took over chairmanship, I inherited that is actually in the Constitution. Amen. So we do not, as in our platform, share thoughts that antagonizes the government of the day. We never did that in the previous regime. We will not do that in this regime. But our duty is to play priestly role and guide every government of the day on spiritual matters. so that when they are fighting, they can come to us parents. Remember, these are our church members. Amen. All politicians are our church members.
In declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation advocate, Bishop Billy Mfula also added his voice.
Our priestly mandate must be well defined. Very important. And as a priest, having on our breastpiece the 12 stones representing every tribe in Israel, immediately it makes us operate above tribalism. We shall carry every tribe to the altar, that God will be able to visit Zambia and continue to unify the nation in a mighty way. The face of tribalism in this nation cannot be ignored. It is there. And what will be able to kill this vice is the church. Yes, it's the church. By how we are going to make sure that we carry every tribe on our hearts, because as spiritual people, we operate beyond natural tribe.
Meanwhile, Pastor Stephen Mdoma said the church needs to play an oversight role in raising a generation free from drug and substance abuse as the nation strives for unity.
The current problems faced by our communities, drug abuse, GBV, high divorce levels, cannot be fully answered without the church. I'll repeat that. It goes without saying that the current problems faced by our communities, such as drug abuse, GBV, high divorce levels, cannot be fully answered without the church. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is for this reason that the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, through its membership and agencies, is rolling out a radical integral mission strategy to halt negative vices among our people, particularly the youth.
Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Police in Lusaka have recorded a warn and caution statement from opposition patriots for economic progress leader Sean Tembo for the offense of hate speech contrary to Cybersecurity and Cybercrimes Act No. 2 of 2021 of the laws of Zambia. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga has alleged that Mr. Tembo on the 2nd of November 2021 posted names on his Facebook page, an account believed to be of the Bemba tribe who were being probed for the crimes committed in the previous regime. Mr. Hamonga adds that Mr. Tembo further went on to state that at the rate at which the government was making arrests, Bembas would become extinct in approximately 7 months. And Mr. Tembo, who spoke shortly after he appeared before the police, has charged that he will continue to offer checks and balances to the UPND administration without fear. More in this report.
Opposition political parties in Zambia heavily scrutinize the Patriotic Front government over how they manage the affairs of the country. Among those who heavily scrutinized the PF government was Patriots for Economic Progress leader Sean Tembo and Democratic Party leader Harry Kalava. The story was, however, different Thursday, 25th January 2022, when PEP leader Sean Tembo was summoned to appear before the police force headquarters for questioning. Members from various political parties such as the Patriotic Front PF, Democratic Party DP, New Heritage Party, Economic Freedom Fighter, among others, put their differences aside and stood in solidarity with one of their colleagues.
Bad name, so that when you kill it, you are justified that the dog was bad. That's what he's doing. So if he calls people critics, whether there is evidence or not, and they are arraigned before courts of law, then you, the Zambians, you think there is justification.
You don't need to notify or get permission from the police over a press briefing. How can you? Because a press briefing is basically informing you can do it in your office, you can do it in a hotel, you can do it anywhere. It's a press briefing. What may require a notification, notifying the police is an assembly.
Whatever happens, we want just to encourage our police as His Excellency Mwamba had earlier said, to be professional and to follow cases as they are. They should endeavor to give each one of us a fair hearing and follow the rule of law.
August the 12th, if we are going to carry on with the same old, I think the time has come for us to have some form of freedom. We don't need a police permit to have a press conference. So
Mr. Tembo, who thought he was being summoned for being among the leaders that held a press briefing Monday, 24th January 2022, however, discovered that he was instead being questioned in connection with a statement he posted on his Facebook page, where he alleged that Bembas would become extinct in approximately 7 months, considering how investigative bodies have been probing people.
I can confirm that my client was called for interviews, and the warn and caution statement has since been issued against Sean Tembo. Yeah, it's concerning an alleged political statement that was published on his Facebook page. Yeah, stating that the corruption fight is targeting Bembas and people from Eastern Province.
And police spokesperson Ray Hamonga has confirmed that Mr. Tembo was being questioned for the offense of hate speech, contrary to Section 65 of the Cyber Security and Cybercrimes Act No. 2 of 2021 of the laws of Zambia.
It is alleged that on the 2nd of November 2021 at around 10 hours, Mr. Tembo posted names on his Facebook account believed to be of Bemba tribe who were being probed for the crimes committed in the previous regime, and further went on to state that at the rate at which the government was making arrests, Bembas would become extinct in approximately 7 months. Such utterances involved hostility or segregation directed towards a particular social grouping on grounds of tribe or origin.
Prudence Daughter, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Movement for Multi-Party Democracy leader Nevas Mumba has charged that 6 months is too soon to forget the alleged atrocities the opposition Patriotic Front inflicted on the people of Zambia. Speaking when he went to drum up support for the United Party for National Development candidate Andrew Tayengwa in Kawata constituency, Dr. Mumba says the PF deserves life political imprisonment. And Dr. Mumba says PF leaders need to humble themselves and submit to the due process of the law as opposed to playing the victim. He says only the guilty should be afraid, saying those who have not committed any crimes will continue to enjoy their freedoms. Patrick Soko reports.
The political battle for Kawata constituency is getting intense as political parties go from door to door to lobby for votes ahead of the 3rd February poll. The Kawata seat fell vacant following the demise of Levi Mokandawile, who was the area member of parliament. The Movement for Multi-Party Democracy, MMD, which is in a pact with the ruling United Party for National Development, went to drum up support for the UPND candidate Andrew Tayengwa. MMD President Dr. Nevas Mumba has charged that 6 months is too soon to forget the atrocities the opposition Patriotic Front allegedly inflicted on the people of Zambia. Dr. Mumba says the PF deserves a life political imprisonment.
I want to say there is no need to vote for PF. In English, I'll put it this way. There is no economic or political gain or reason to vote for PF. There is no reason. PF cannot be voted for by anybody who loves this country at this time. The punishment that Zambians gave to you, to PF, is still intact. Don't remove that punishment. If you remove it after 5 months, the sentence is not 5 months for PF. The sentence is eternal. How do you the sentence for PF is life imprisonment.
Dr. Mumba also stressed that the PF leaders need to humble themselves and submit to the due process of the law as opposed to playing the victim as the UPND administration pursues the fight against corruption.
The institutions of government have the responsibility to ask questions. And my advice to our friends is that when they ask you questions, answer the questions. Government, nobody cares. You are no longer in government.
Party Secretary General Batuke Imenda says the UPND is practical and proactive in uplifting the livelihoods of the people.
And Nevers MUMBA, we are most thankful for the spirit of patriotism, the love that you have for your country, by calling your troops to come and save this country from total collapse. The Ukrainian call that you have given to the people of Kabata resonated very well to the extent that Daengwa today is regarded as an incoming member of parliament.
And UPND candidate Andrew Daengwa believes is the right person to steer development in Kawata constituency.
A member of parliament, I will ensure that I work the benefit of the Zambian people, especially here in Kawata constituency. And I'm going to deliver and ensure that Kawata will be a better place, a better constituency. In the history of Zambia, it will be regarded as one of the favorite and the best constituencies.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
Permanent Secretary Special Duties Nicholas Piri has warned that government will not condone schools that will be frustrating government's implementation of free education. The Permanent Secretary, who visited Prince Takamado Basic School in Lusaka's Bowlen compound, where some parents have alleged that the school is selling school uniforms at an exorbitant price, says government will take action on any school that will be found not complying with the directive. And school head teacher Grace Chabo has denied the allegations and says the school has noted an increase in enrollments due to the introduction of free education. More in this report.
Parents in Lusaka's Bowlen compound Tuesday stormed Prince Takamado Basic School in the area over allegations that the school was selling school uniforms at an exorbitant price. School PTA chairperson Francis Mwamba has told this reporter that the school was peaceful the whole morning until some suspected cadres stormed the premises demanding that the school stop selling uniforms at an exorbitant price. He adds that the school has 5 different types of uniforms, which incorporates a Japanese uniform, which is a symbol of honor to the Japanese contribution to the Zambian education system.
Just normal since starting from the morning. Duties were coming and the teacher were there for their duties. So what surprised us is that there are certain tags were being just brought here to come and talk about the school uniforms. And the school uniforms, the content of it, there are almost 5 of them, which blend the Japanese and the Zambia, who came to build this school, part of the grant which helped the government.
And Permanent Secretary Special Duties Nicholas Piri, who visited the school Tuesday afternoon, says government will not allow any school to frustrate efforts being made by the government to offer free education.
Government gets very disturbed when reports of fees in any form, whether school uniforms, whether it's PTA, are being imposed on parents. And this is why we are here, to make it very clear and probably send a warning to those charged with responsibility to manage schools that government will not tolerate anyone frustrating the efforts of providing free education.
The Permanent Secretary has also appealed to parents who are aggrieved to use the right channel of communication and not take matters in their own hands.
Let me also hasten to advise parents that whenever you are aggrieved, there are channels of communication. Let us restrain ourselves as parents from creating animosity within the school.
And school head teacher Grace Chabo has explained that the atmosphere at the school has been peaceful and that the introduction of free education has seen an increase in enrollments.
And so, as Prince Takamado, the capacity we have
can only accommodate 3,000. And at the moment when I came to the school, the population was at 1,900. I can now talk of an enrollment of 2,900, which shows that we are implementing government policy of free education.
We will continue to monitor how free education is being implemented in schools across the country. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
An environmental activist, Robert Chimambo, has urged government to stop what he terms as going round in circles concerning the demolition of Forest 27. In an exclusive interview with Camnet News, Mr. Chimambo has wondered why the demolition of the forest seems to be a challenge, unlike other campaign promises made by the UPND, such as ending cannibalism in bus stations and markets. Meanwhile, Lands Minister Elijah Muchima says the ministry is currently studying the assessment report and related funds to undertake the process. More in the following report.
The demolishing of houses constructed in Forest 27 is a controversial issue that has been building momentum as stakeholders, chief among whom are environmentalists, have challenged the United Party for National Development UPND administration to see that it fulfills its campaign promise of demolishing the houses constructed here, among other campaign promises. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources under the new administration, Mr. Elijah Muchima, in 2021, stated that before anything can be done, there is need for a full assessment to see how much of the water recharge area has been affected, as well as conduct an audit of how the plots were acquired, as there were legal issues involved. When questioned how far the assessing of the forest has gone in a phone interview, Mr. Muchima says the ministry is still seeking funds from cooperating partners to carry out the same.
I said we are looking around for cooperating partners. We are looking to cooperating partners. WWF is one of those. To do the strategic environmental assessment.
An environmental activist, Mr. Robert Chimambo, however, has called for the depoliticization of Forest 27, saying the contamination of underground water with fecal matter from soakaways is a public health concern.
Those assessments were already done in 1942. So, President Hakainde, please move in and let's stop this this business of this gentleman, Honorable Muchima. It is not even his mandate. What we want to listen to is Honorable Nkombo, town and country planning. Those things there are illegal. Environmental protection, Nzovu, environmental protection is clear. No environmental impact, everything was done there, so it's illegal. Water. The water is categorical. You are going to put fecal matter there and contaminate the water for generations to come. It's illegal. So those are the people who must be talking. No?
Apart from climate change concerns, the building of houses in this forest has been greatly opposed by environmentalists, as it is the source of the Chalimbana River and provides majority of the underground water in Lusaka city.
We have our own people, but we don't need them. The assessment was already done. Town and country planning, water resources management, environmental management are what we should use to demolish whatever is in there. But first of all, number one is for the president to do what? To regazette that thing. Then all those other things of what to do can follow. But let President Hakainde, like President Chiluba, regazette this thing. It's his mandate, constitutional mandate. That's why we have petitioned him, just like his predecessor. So Honorable Muchima should leave this. It's not his job. It's confusing.
He has challenged the new administration to fulfill its campaign promise of demolishing the houses here in the same way it has begun actualizing the removal of cadres from bus stations and markets. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A gender-based non-governmental organization says the free education policy in public schools introduced by the United Party for National Development, UPND, will go a long way in alleviating gender concerns such as teenage pregnancies, early marriages, and ending vices such as gender-based violence, as more women who are usually the victims will be able to know their human rights and gain more economic emancipation through the same. In an interview, Women for Change Executive Director Ms. Lumbasianga says with the opening of schools on Monday under the free education policy in public schools, this will be a game changer in many areas of concern, as no one will have an excuse not to take their child, whether male or female, to school. She hopes that this will also lead to more women participating in politics, as a grade 12 certificate has been set as one of the minimum requirements to stand for political office. More in the following report.
Latest United Nations data indicates that Zambia is a highly impoverished country with over half of the population living in extreme poverty. Zambia is also a country characterized by great inequalities, meaning that the gap between the rich and the poor is wide. This means that while many people are able to afford private school education for their children, others struggle to pay even the little amount paid in public schools. The coming into effect of the free education policy following the opening of schools Monday has elated a gender-based non-governmental organization which says this will help in meeting the country's 2030 gender equality goals. In an interview, Women for Change Executive Director Ms. Lumbasianga says more girls going to school will see a reduction in early marriages, teenage pregnancies, and will help more women know their rights, hence reducing the cases of gender-based violence, as women are mostly the victims.
So we expect the poverty cycle also to start breaking down and not regenerating, because educated women will be able to participate not only in the political arena but also in the economic arena in terms of accessing economic empowerment. It's much easier when you have information, when you are educated, you know where to access certain facilities because you are knowledgeable. So it will also lead to economic empowerment of women, and education will also lead to the social empowerment of women in terms of enhancing their leadership skills, and also breaking some of the cultural barriers that hinder women from full participation.
She says apart from increasing the number of women participating in politics, free education will also give the country added human resource which is needed to develop.
So we expect the dropout rate of girls to reduce because of free education, and because of free education and also the support that they will be receiving within school and also in the communities. The other long-term benefit of ensuring that girls are in school is that we'll have more girls completing school with grade 12s, and this will be beneficial in the sense that we'll have more women that will be able to participate in decision making, because our participation in politics, especially certain positions like councillor, local government level, to be MP and to be mayor or president, you need to have at least a grade 12 certificate. So most girls will be given that opportunity now, since there is free education.
The free education policy has excited various stakeholders and citizens as they wait to see how it will unfold. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka High Court Judge Charles Zulu has expressed displeasure over the discourtesy portrayed by the state to shun from informing the court why they have decided not to show up in Tuesday's sitting in a case where 8 United Party for National Development cadres have been accused of murdering 2 opposition Patriotic Front cadres last year. Judge Zulu said he was mindful of the notice shown to him that state advocates were attending a workshop, hence should be excused from court proceedings. However, the state should have the courtesy to notify the court as they had earlier promised to attend court. This is in a matter in which Samson Mumba and 7 other UPND cadres are accused of killing PF cadres Danny Kasongo and David Kabunda in July 2021 when UPND and PF cadres clashed in KANYAMA compound. More in this report.
The alleged murder case of 8 United Party for National Development cadres received an early adjournment Tuesday morning following the non-availability by the state to proceed with trial. This is in a case in which Samson Mumba, Kelvin Banda, John Mwanza, Njeko Puteo, Ruben Nalikana, John Walia have been jointly charged with 2 juveniles aged 16 with 2 counts of murder contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. They are accused of killing 2 PF cadres, Dani Kasongo and David Kawunda, on the 30th of July 2021 after UPND and PF cadres clashed in Lusaka's Kanyama compound during the campaign period. When the matter came up before Lusaka High Court Judge Charles Zulu this morning for continued trial, the court was informed that the state advocates were not before court as they were attending a workshop, hence trial could not proceed despite having made an assurance in the previous court session that they were going to be ready to proceed with the matter. The court also noted of having been shown a notice that state advocates were going to attend a workshop, hence should be excused from court proceedings from the 24th to the 28th of January 2022. However, Judge Zulu said the state should have had the courtesy to alert the court as they had earlier promised to attend court, adding that the state knew about the workshop in the last court session but chose not to alert the court and decided and agreed to adjourn the matter 25th of January 2022, knowing very well that they were not going to attend, adding that the lack of courtesy portrayed by the state is unacceptable, especially that there was an assurance from them in the last session, saying someone from the prosecution should have been sent to notify the court and agreed on possible dates on which the matter can come up for trial. Meanwhile, speaking shortly after the court session, Defense Counsel had this to say.
Transpired in court today in the murder trial of Samson MUMBA and 7 others. They says the people is that the state is not ready to proceed with trial today. Yeah, despite agreeing tentatively the last time we sat on this matter that a trial would continue today. Unfortunately, the state has not turned out for today's trial, despite not only agreeing last week that the matter would take off today, but also they gave an undertaking, an unconditional undertaking yesterday that trial would continue today. Unfortunately, the state has not had the courtesy of even informing the court as to the reason why they have not been able to turn out today. Yeah, so we have protested and expressed great exception to the conduct of the state in this matter as regards their unexplainable failure to turn up today.
The court failed to give the next date for the court session as the state was not available to agree with the defense lawyers. The matter has since been adjourned to a date to be communicated. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
State House Media Director Clayson Hamasaka has asked the Lusaka High Court to enter judgment in default of appearance and defense against the state. This is in a matter where he is demanding damages for malicious and wrongful prosecution on charges of drug dealing, defamation of the president, and seditious practices. Mr. Hamasaka states that his arrest and prosecution for the said charges in 2013 were publicized in print and electronic media both locally and internationally, leading to his dismissal from employment. Mr. Hamasaka claims to have suffered physical and emotional pain during the detention in police cells. According to the affidavit in support of summons to enter judgment in default of appearance and defense filed before court, Mr. Hamasaka contains that the state has failed to offer any defense to the writ of summons, nor give any notice of intention to defend the summons, and should have a judgment entered in default. In this matter, the plaintiff further wants the court to order the government to pay him damages for forced imprisonment and suffering, as well as compensation for lost personal items. The court is, however, scheduled to determine this matter on the 15th of March 2022. This is Camnet TV Main News. We take our first commercial break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom? Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zantel.
Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Lusaka City Mayor Chilando Chitangala Tuesday conducted an operation to find people who are selling chickens suspected to be rotten. The mayor is dismayed by the situation, which she says is putting the health of the victims at risk of unknown diseases. More in this report.
Government has today embarked on an operation to find people who are in a habit of selling rotten chickens to members of the public in the markets. Her Worship the Mayor of Lusaka, Chilando Chitangala, led members of the Public Health Committee and health inspectors to find the culprits.
We got information, as a few people know, that on Saturday we got information that our people were selling bad chicken that was already rotten. But we were also told that these chickens are actually bought dead and rotten already from a few farms somewhere around Lusaka. So what has happened is we decided now to come and see what happens exactly at where they sell these chickens. So we are here at Soweto Market. We came here about 04 and started checking what was happening until we came and now started talking to the women. And
Ms. Chitangala is saddened by the situation, stating it is not good for human consumption.
Have admitted that they buy these chickens dead from a few named farms, and these farms are owned by named individuals who will announce later. So this is very disappointing for Lusaka City Council, but of course it is our duty to make sure that people eat and sell food that is in good condition. So here where we are, all the women that are here are selling chickens that are bad. They've been turned green, and this is very unhealthy for the city. And imagine they'll take them to restaurants and cook meals for these people.
The team was led on a fact-finding mission to various farms that are suspected to be selling the rotten chickens. The sale of food that is unfit for human consumption goes against the Food Safety Act number 7 of 2019. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Financial Intelligence Center, FIC, has fined Stanbic Bank Zambia Limited a financial penalty amounting to over 400,000 kwacha. FIC Acting Director General Leah Tembo says Stanbic Bank Zambia Limited breached the FIC Act of 2010 by failing to report suspicious transactions in 2020 within 3 working days upon forming a suspicion. Mrs. Tembo says the bank has since paid the penalty in full and has committed to continue improving compliance with its anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism and proliferation of obligations. She says FIC will continue to monitor financial service providers to ensure they comply with the provisions of the law. This is according to a statement issued to the media seen by Camnet Newsroom. Several entrepreneurs have welcomed the move by government of making sure that cooperatives that benefit from the employment program should be trained in different skills. Speaking to Camnet TV on the sidelines of a meeting organized by the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise, some people spoken to have expressed confidence of proper utilization of funds once empowered. In an interview with Camnet News, Minister in charge of Small Medium Enterprises, Elias Mulenga, says the new Dawn government has extended the free education to youths that want to acquire skills but cannot afford. More in the following report.
Skills training is important because it enhances overall job satisfaction. Zambia, with a population of 18 million people, mostly dominated by the youth, is fast growing. Several entrepreneurs have welcomed the move by government of making certain that cooperatives that benefit from the empowerment program are trained in different skills. They say it will be beneficial to them if they know what they are doing.
In this meeting, I think we have something that is coming after us, because everyone has to benefit from it, if only the mindset for us is set according to the way the plans the government is planning.
Meanwhile, Minister in charge of Small Medium Enterprise, Elias Mubanga, says government will extend free education to youth that want to acquire skill but cannot afford.
Some of the businesses that are being done, which are supposed to be only for Zambians, unless we get in there. You know what I mean? Yes. Because I stop it, we will have a vacuum. I will not allow, and I won't have any shame to say this, I won't allow for anybody to come from outside to come and start getting into chicken business. That will not be allowed. That won't be allowed. We can do it.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka City Council, LCC, through the office of the area councillor, Tuesday embarked on a cleanup exercise that saw the impounding of 9 gaming machines known as Bonanza in Lusaka's Kalingalinga compound of Munale constituency. This follows constant complaints from residents who bemoaned the misuse of gambling machines by children below the age of 12. Some parents supported the move, saying the machines have become a danger to their children's well-being. However, this exercise was later halted after the confiscating of 9 machines and efforts to get an explanation from the council's public relations office to explain the development proved futile. Details in this report.
The Lusaka City Council, through the office of the area councillor, Tuesday embarked on a cleanup exercise that saw the impounding of 9 game machines known as the Bonanza in Lusaka's Kalingalinga compound of Munale constituency. This follows constant complaints from residents who bemoan the misuse of gambling machines by children below the age of 12. Some parents have since supported this move.
Yeah, the Bonanza has brought a lot of effects, especially to our children and our women, our wives. Yeah, the trend of Bonanza is not working very well because they get money instead of buying things of utility at our homes and stuff like that. They go to the Bonanza. Bonanza It's a crooked means of getting money.
Mbili vikwativisira chifukwa cha mabonanza. Vambiri vana vakainga kwenda kuma skulu. Mpeza mwana mwampasa ndrama kuti aende ku skulu. Ija ndrama ichapwiritsa kuchibonanza. Na ukawalala. Vangena vakuba ndrama mwamene muja manyumba chifukwa cha mabonanza. So it's better chabe bonanza chabe ichokeko. Sifunika.
And Kalingalinga Ward 36 Councillor Mukobesa Nyoni told the media that the local authority are compelled to confiscate the machines because they have become a nuisance in the area, lessening both the youth and children's productivity levels.
Oh, the exercise we are having right now, we are impounding the so-called bonanzas. As everybody knows, these are harmful to our children, and from what I've gotten, also the women. Yes, they are quite addictive. And they are fighting the new Don's government of free education. The children are not going to school, and it's quite sad. So my appeal here is for the people above, the people in higher authorities like the central government should come in so that we ban this vice.
The confiscating exercise is premised on the lack of licenses by some owners and the operating of the machines outside the designated places where underage children have access to the machines. However, this exercise did not see the light of day as it was halted after the confiscating of 9 machines and efforts to get an explanation from the Council's Public Relations Office to explain the development proved futile. After the inspectors gave back the machines to the owners, they warned the operators that they should operate within the regulations. The question still remains, should these machines be banned completely or not? Only time will tell. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
We take a break. We'll be back with international and sports news.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel. From 31st January to 6th February 2022, Zambia's spiritual atmosphere will take a paradigm shift. The Bible says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord."
Zambia, a nation under God conference
will be starting at 20:45 hours
to 22:30 hours.
Live on Camnet TV channel 274 on DSTV, GoTV channel 98 and Topstar channel 106.
Speakers will be
Bishop Stanley Simonyola, Grace Ministries,
Dr. Nevas Mumba, Victory Ministries,
Apostle Michael Mutemwa from South Africa,
Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, New Life Christian Center,
Apostle Rick Kamwanga, Risen Life Church International,
Bishop Joy Makando, Bread of Life,
Bishop Alex Mwami of Holy Ghost Firehouse from South Africa, and your hosts, Pastors Victoria and Moses Chilua.
Camnet Television,
not just another channel.
Welcome back. And in international news, Senegal's ruling coalition suffered crushing defeats in the capital and other major cities in Sunday's local elections, local media reported, in a vote seen as a key test for the president. Bartholomew Diaz, the candidate of the opposition coalition Yewi Askanwi, who won the municipal elections in Dakar last Sunday, celebrated his victory with a caravan in the streets of the Senegalese capital. Analysts view the vote as a litmus test for support for President Macky Sall, 60, who the opposition suspects is planning a bid for a third presidential term in 2024. The vote was a first in the West African country since deadly riots last year, sparked by the arrest of 46-year-old opposition leader Ousmane Sonko. Sunday's vote was to decide the mayors of more than 500 municipalities and the heads of Senegal's 46 departments. For more of international news, here's a roundup.
Senegal's ruling coalition suffered crushing defeats in the capital and other major cities in Sunday's local elections, local media reported, in a vote seen as a key test for the president. The candidate of the opposition coalition, who won the municipal elections in Dakar, celebrated his victory with a caravan in the streets of Senegalese capital. It's a victory of the people of Dakar, it's a victory of dignity, a victory of pride. Today, I recall that Dakar has been humiliated by President Macky Sall throughout his reign, and today Dakar has decided to take back its place as a capital city. Analysts view the vote as a litmus test for support for Macky Sall, who the opposition suspect is planning a bid for the third presidential term in 2024. Dakar has made a choice, but Dakar has also sent a very strong political signal. We will strive for this mandate. Let it really be a mandate of rupture, so that Dakar can rediscover its programs for the exclusive benefit of the people of Dakar. What you're saying is only the beginning of 2024. Sunday's vote was to decide the mayors of more than 500 municipalities. The vote was the first in the West African country since deadly riot last year sparked by the arrest of 46-year-old opposition leader Ousmane Sonko.
At least 8 people are reported to have been killed and dozens hurt in a stampede outside an African Cup of Nations match in Cameroon. Video footage on Monday showed football fans struggling to get access to the Paul Biya Stadium in the capital Yaoundé to watch Cameroon face Comoros. One child is among the dead, according to a health ministry report. We arrived and we entered, and there was a barrier and there was a policeman. He said, "Wait, you will enter after, as soon as halftime starts." My brothers, the Cameroonians, did not understand this. There were people behind who said, "Push." I was among them. And when I saw that, I left to enter from the northwest. They stayed there, and that's when someone left to open the barrier, because the barrier closes on the outside. So someone pulled. They pushed like that. Some fell on top of others, and there were even babies. What I saw at the moment was 7 dead. As the police closed the gate, a crowd of people came from behind, and I was stuck in it, so I couldn't go back. That's when there were more than 15 people, and I was downstairs. God spared me. There were even 7 deaths. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has said it is currently investigating the situation and trying to get more details on what transpired. The last 16 match between Cameroon and Comoros took place despite the incident and ended with a 2-1 win for the hosts.
Mali on Monday demanded Denmark remove its forces deployed in the country. In a statement read on national television, Mali said the troops are deployed without its consent. Denmark announced last week that 90 Special Forces soldiers had arrived in the Sahel state as part of the so-called Takuba Task Force, a European contingent fighting militant insurgents in the Sahel. Other than France, 9 other countries, including the Netherlands, Estonia, Sweden, Belgium, the Czech Republic, Norway, Portugal, Italy and Hungary are participating in the Takuba mission. Denmark's Foreign Affairs Ministry in response said it was in touch with Bamako to resolve the issue. Malian rulers have have come under European criticism for inviting Russian forces to deploy in the country. There's been growing friction between the country and former colonizer France since the August 2020 coup. Last year, Paris ended security cooperation with Bamako before restoring contacts a month later. Mali has said it is reviewing security agreements it made with France.
We now have sports news. And in sports news, the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts has handed over David Kaunda Stadium in Chipata of the Eastern Province to contractors to start rehabilitating the facility. David Kaunda Stadium is one of the 4 football facilities that will be rehabilitated at a cost of $1.2 million United States dollars financing from the Federation of International Football Association, FIFA. Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu, who was joined by his Eastern Province counterpart Peter Perry, handed over the stadium project to Royal Kents Engineering Limited today. More in this report.
Talent development in football cannot be fruitful without the required infrastructure for the players. The Football Association of Zambia has received $300,000 from FIFA to renovate the David Kaunda Football Stadium in Chipata District. Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Evans Nkandu officiated at the handover of the stadium for renovations to the contractor Royal Kents Engineering Limited.
I'm here today to share the reality of the rehabilitations of provincial stadium. I am aware of the state of most sports infrastructure in the country, which is in a state of dilapidation. But it is not enough just to lament, but to look at the solutions. It is from this backdrop that I take the privilege to most sincerely thank the Federation of International Football Association, FIFA, through the Football Association of Zambia, for partnering with the Zambian government through my ministry to improve sport facilities in the country. Eastern Province holds a special place in the history of this country, having produced some of the country's finest footballers.
First Vice President Justin Mumba gave a speech on behalf of the Zambia FA President Andrew Kamanga.
We are very excited with this project that is being funded by FIFA and supervised by us as FAR, and believe that it is a great step in the development of our game. So I hope that with this rehabilitation of the stadium, we can have a team that will play in the Super Division.
Eastern Province Minister Peter Perry also graced the ceremony.
As a province, we are happy for being considered in this development. It is indeed a special occasion for us to witness the official handover of the stadium for improvements. We have been waiting for these projects to come to its fruition.
And the footballers could not hide their delight.
Happy here in Chipata because it's been long since we was asking for someone to help us to renew our ground. As a footballers, we are all happy because this is it's a big ground we have here. It's the only stadium we have in Chipata.
We want them to do it fast so that us as players, we can do our best, because most of the time we don't do the best, the better here, because the ground which we would like to face is not clear.
Sylvester Chimba reporting for the news in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
The sports item brings us to the end of our news, but let's take a look at the headlines once again. The church regrets taking a partisan stance prior to the 2021 general election. It is too soon to forget PF atrocities, charges Dr. Nevas Mumba. An identified mayor of Kanyama compound killed in mob justice. In international news, Senegal ruling coalition suffers setbacks in key cities. And in sports news, government commences the rehabilitation of football facilities in Eastern Province. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day coming from Colossians 3 verse 1. So if you have been raised with the Messiah, seek what is above, where the Messiah is seated at the right hand of God. On that note, we've come to the end of the news. Thank you for watching Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.